Hello, everybody.
Yeah, and you want to tell people, put some numbers out there and tell people where you are, some phone numbers and some whatever numbers and addresses and stuff like that.
Of the Latino Community Foundation.
And that is a 501c3.
That's right. So we are a philanthropic institution. We raise funds, we invest those funds in the grassroots, and then we bring everybody together to advocate for lasting change. You can find us at www.latinocf.org or on Facebook. Just type in Latino Community Foundation.
Good stuff.
And give. I encourage everybody to give, you know?
Yeah.
$10, $15, $25, it all adds up.
Hey,
right?
baby, wait a minute.
You too. Watch out. I'm going to ask you for money at the end of the show.
We got some of these people out here can give a lot more than that, you know?
Right.
You figure a pack of cigarettes is $20 now or something like that.
Not
pretty close.
Yeah?
It's getting there.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
And we got Eyez. Eyez is here today, and you know, Eyez is quite a lady of character and dignity. And I wish, you know, one of these days I'm gonna get to sing a duet with you.
Yeah, we sing duets all the time.
Yeah, we do, don't we? I hope I do. But you know, and you get around. You get around. What's been happening in the Bay Area lately?
The Bay Area?
Right.
I can't speak for the whole Bay Area.
What's you been doing?
Well, I've been working with GRM Presents. They're going to be doing another live action music. It was actually a secret, and then here I am on the radio talking about it. So everybody just needs to be prepared for the next GRM event, live action music, and he has a whole other shows coming up too. So it's going to be awesome. I look forward to that.
Yeah, we're talking today about the Latino Foundation today and where we're going and what we're doing and how much we're doing for people in the Hispanic community. We're trying to stay away from the political stuff since we're 501c3s.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, we don't want no dive bombing. You know, we had to look up at the plane coming down and dropping a few political bombs on us.
Wow.
So we're trying to stay away from the heated stuff. Am I right? That's that right?
Sure.
Hot
Sure.
stuff. You know.
Sure, but we can focus on the issues, right?
Yeah,
we can focus
on the issues. You know, we
what's
can talk
happening.
about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking about giving. You know, we're talking about cohesion. We're talking about a whole lot of stuff. You know, the big thing is dig in your pocket. Dig in your pocket.
Or your purse.
Or your purse.
Or your couch.
Or your pouch.
The coin purse.
Your coin purse.
Bank account.
No.
The ATM.
The ATM,
You can
that's
dig
right.
into your ATM.
Yeah. And give.
And give.
And because it makes other people live, and you live, and you'll reciprocate on
That's
that.
right.
Karma.
Generosity is a powerful thing. It comes back to you.
Yeah, it's a circle. You know, that's one of the things that I noticed down when I was down in Mexico, whenever I go.
That's tremendous. Well,
everybody
always feels like they don't have enough, right? Maybe the cure for that is to
We have a spoiled society
to be happy
here.
for what you have.
Yeah, be thoughtful for what you have. You know, and
share.
that says a lot. You know, that says a lot. So, what are some of the visions you have for your foundation?
Oh my God, so many. I was talking about revolutionizing philanthropy, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're not in the business of charity. We're in the business of building power and strength and changing the narrative about the Latino community. As we were saying earlier, Latinos are very generous. They come to this country, they work hard and with pride, and they want to give back, not just to their own community, but to the entire state of California, right? So for us, our vision is to raise the resources that we need and to invest in local nonprofits. But in the Latino community, let me tell you something, we haven't had a lot of strong institutions for a very long time. So NCLR hasn't existed for more than 50 years. MALDEF wasn't around 50 years ago, right? The Unity Council in Oakland was launched by actually one of our board members, Arabella Martinez. And now we have a lot of Latino organizations, but most of them are emerging. San Francisco is a little bit different. In San Francisco, there are a lot of established Latino-led organizations. But when you go outside, when you go to the East Bay, when you go to the Central Valley, when you go to the North Bay, when you go to Salinas, our young people don't have a place to go, right? So we're taking those organizations and not just investing in them financially, but we're investing in them with our talents, with our resources and our connections, right? And we're bringing them together and saying, you are strong when united, you are powerful when united, and you know your community best, right? So this year we're launching a Latino nonprofit accelerator. We're going to help those grassroots.
Latino nonprofit accelerator.
Right? So
Define that.
kind of like in the tech industry, right? Getting organizations investing in their infrastructure so that they can scale. A lot of our nonprofits get funding for specific programs, right? Foundations give them grants. They say, here's $25,000. You need to do X, Y, and Z, right? But they rarely invest in them to grow their staff, to grow their institution, to pay the rent, right? To think outside of the box, right? So we're helping them with their two really specific and important things, marketing and fundraising. There's no institution out here in San Francisco, a major institution, that doesn't have a marketing department and a communications department. But we are afraid to give nonprofits money to do that. So
Why?
Yeah, why?
Why? I mean, not trying to be that way, but why?
Yeah, it's just a culture of thinking that we have to starve our nonprofits, right? That every dollar has to be spent and given, invested in the community rather than taking care of the organization, right? Communications matters a great deal. What you say about what you do matters a great deal. How can you ever measure the impact in your community without having a communication strategy? The San Francisco Foundation just launched a new strategy, investing in people, place, and power, right? They had a communications team come in and help them.
There's a lot of money here.
Ton of money here.
Tons of money.
Tons of money, and we're just getting scraps, right? People
Right.
are just throwing scraps, and they want people to fight over those scraps. That's not change. That's not progress. That's handouts, right?
Wow.
So we're trying to go in and say, hey, let's change the way you talk about your work. Let's make sure you have a strong website. Let's make sure you have the right collateral that makes you feel powerful about your work, right? So that when you go into a funder meeting, you go in there and you say, we know what we're doing. This is what we're accomplishing. This is the change we want to make, the transformational change. And we're going to do it with our own culture.
Internal change, you know?
Yeah. So we want to take those organizations and make sure that they grow into anchor institutions, because movements come and they go, but we need anchor institutions to be there to represent the voice of the community. But the way that they do that is also important. The leadership has to come from the young people and from the parents.
See, this is
Otherwise,
the thing
shit will never change.
This is the thing that people don't understand. Young people are very intelligent. Am I right, Eyez?
Oh yes, they're very intelligent. It's because you teach them how to use your cell phone when they're 2 years old, so they catch on real quick.
2 years old using a cell phone.
Yeah.
I see that.
Yeah.
I see that. I see 3-year-old. One of my grandchildren has just turned 3, 4, and he's using a computer now.
Yeah.
You know.
See?
No, he's older than that. He's about 5, I think. 5 or 6.
3 and 5 are 2 different ages.
Yeah, and you know, and you see, you look at this, you know, you say to yourself, but you know, you start them early, you get them out there, and you get them positive, and they're gonna run with it. Am I right?
Of course.
You know, and this is what foundations are all about: is building people. Do you know we have at least 20 different organizations, nonprofits in here a year, at least 20. And the mantra for everybody is to start young, grow, and go on. That's the new mantra. I mean, that actually makes people feel good, especially when your child is doing really well in school, you know, and the outside environment is very important to the school's insides.
Of course.
You know, and we're seeing that. And when an organization comes through here, we look at it, and you know, and we have this type of stuff because this radio station, Thoughts of a Common Man, is just what it is. Common people talking and trying to get common people to move. That's what this is all about.
I love it.
Yeah.
We share that same mission, right?
Yeah.
We want regular people
Hell
to
yes.
get involved, but also to change the way that they think, right, about Latino young people, right?
Yeah.
People are constantly saying, you know, Latino youth aren't doing X, they're not doing Y, they're deficient in this, they're the lowest, you know, performing in X, Y, and Z, right? And a young person starts to feel like they're not good enough. Right? We rarely talk about the other side of it, the resiliency, the adaptability, the resourcefulness. I'm a young immigrant kid. You know, you put me in any environment and I am trained to survive, right? And to thrive. And nobody, when I was young, said, you have these skills and you're gonna run with them, right? yes, your English might not be perfect, but you're gonna figure it out, right? So I think it's the way that we need to shape our narrative about our young people and the gifts that they bring. California wouldn't be what it is today without the labor of our immigrant community. It wouldn't be what it is today without the...
We can almost say something. I have to butt in on this one here, okay? We're gonna find out very quickly.
I hope not, yeah.
We're gonna find out very quickly how valuable the Latino community, the labor communities are. We're gonna find out very quickly. This past weekend, and I changed the subject, this past weekend, many of the big millionaire farmers had meetings in the Central Valley.
That's right.
And they're not getting their crops picked.
This happened in Alabama already, you know, the policies that they were trying to enforce for, you
Well,
know,
Alabama is a foreign state. You know that, don't you? It's a foreign country.
Alabama?
Alabama's a damn
I
foreign
believe
country.
it.
Huh?
I believe it.
You believe that?
Yeah. Any place where they charge $10 for 2 AA batteries is a foreign. Is a foreign.
Is that happening in Alabama?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. And then yell at you about it.
I was there, and I was in the middle of a cotton field in Alabama, and that was the safest place to sleep when I was hitchhiking on the road, because you can hear people coming in the cotton, you know. You can hear the rattling, you know, so you can crawl, you know, move real swiftly and crawl away. And I used to sleep in the red dirt there. In Bessemer, Alabama, I was in there one time, and it was like being in a foreign land, you know. The people were just so clannish, and, you know, and that's what we talk about, getting around in this society right now, am I right? Mm-hmm. You know, we have to respect each other, do for each other. And we bring that word back again, love. That love word keeps coming in here, you know. And I just want to say to the two ladies, Eyez and our guest today, we have a diversity of ideas here, and young people are fueling a lot of stuff.
That's right.
Am I right?
That's right. Let them run with it. Invest in them. They are the future.
I like that.
Yeah. But also, let them lead with love, too.
We have to teach our young people love and respect and dignity and all the things, because, you know, they come up with all these ideas. When I was a kid, the Surveillance, the Alacondos, two of the most ruthless groups in LA, you know, we saw this every day, you know, but we also saw development of things, you know, and how we made things. Nisha lived on the corner from us, and Nisha had about 8 or 9 kids. You know, everybody worked, everybody had a job, everybody had something. That's because she would beat the hell out of her kids, okay, and tell them, you're going to go to school, you're going to go to work, and you're going to be a person. And Virgil was the oldest one. He cried when he graduated from USC. He was crying. Big old huge cry. We were standing there looking at him. He was crying, you know, just big tears. The first Latino in his family to graduate from college. USC. That was when I was 14 then, 13, 14. Yeah, I was 13. You know, and I'm like, why is he crying? He just graduated from school. You know, the guy's got brains, and he went on to get a PhD. You know, and he went on to be a very hardcore individual in the Latino community in East LA. You know, and it was just so invigorating to see that. And every time I go by there, I remember that family. You know, and they did a lot. But the thing I really liked about them, they used to grow pigeons and give everybody pigeons. You know, everybody had birds. You know, we used to race them, we used to see them, you know, go around in circles in the evening. But the community was just so tight, man. This is what I like to see today, is my point. I like to see that time coming. I like to see that respect and that dignity and that care. When we get back to that word you keep putting in everything there, dear, that love for each other and respect. That's what we need. And this is what, again, this program is all about. And I'm listening to your foundation. And people should understand. Hey. What's happening, y'all? We're back again. And you know what? Walking in the Mission District here in San Francisco, I say this all the time. I'm hungry the minute I get here, and I'm hungry till I leave. There's just food everywhere. We're talking about people, we're talking about things, we're talking about development. One of the things that I want to say is the Latino community is moving and shaking right now. Eyez, what do you think about the way things are going culturally in this part of the world?
In this part of the world?
I say Northern California.
Northern California.
We're another world.
You know, this part of California seems to have their own way of thinking, and they're very hard-headed. They're very... This part of California just definitely marches to the beat of their own drums. So I don't see any changes happening or anything like else. But at least from what the media is saying, you know, I don't really see because one thing, there's a lot of things that are against the law here in San Francisco that I see tons of people doing. So I mean, stuff that I think was outlawed in 1870.
1870.
Yeah. So.
Were they smoking grass in 1870?
Yes, and they were doing coke, all of it.
1870?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Everybody was blowing a doobie and having a good time. I don't know about all that, but we're here.
The Barbary Coast.
That is a fact. You know, Monterey, as they say, was high and on the hog, so to speak, and things were going down there. But you know, we're looking at this is Northern California the flavor is different from Southern California.
Oh yeah.
You know, we have the Latino community up here is much more in tune to business, and down there they're much more in tune to individual people working. You know, we have a lot of Latinos in Silicon Valley.
Not enough.
Yeah, a lot. That's the good thing about that. We're here talking about cohesion. We're here talking about love. We're here talking about respect. You know, in the Latino Foundation here in San Francisco Bay Area. And you want to put your numbers out there, dear, again?
Sure. I don't even know our phone number. We just moved into a new office. So
where's your office at?
It's actually downtown Financial District, Montgomery and Bush. 235
really?
Montgomery, yeah.
Oh.
Great office building. We have our name, but it's the first time we've ever had our logo up that says Latino Community Foundation. So I think Sadie and I, my co-worker, we almost started to cry. Yeah. But we grew from a really small fund in the Bay Area to now one of the biggest Latino community foundations in our state. We're really one of the only ones focused specifically on the Latino community, which is exciting, but for me also very tragic, right? Latinos make up 40% of the state in terms of young people.
Wow, really?
40, yes. In terms of 40, yes. And then kids in school, more than 51% of all school children here in the state of California are Latino. So if you're not investing in them, you're not investing in the future economy or the future democracy of our state, right?
I was looking at some statistics a little bit ago, and I looked at $1.5 trillion in growth from the Latino community in the next 10 years. I look at 7.39 billion in wages per year.
That's right. There's a
$8 billion a year.
I mean, Latinos are the backbone of this state, right? They really are.
I ain't gonna get nasty, but somebody gonna find out things go right. You got that right. We won't go into the political part of it, but you know what? We're gonna miss a lot of good people when it's all over with.
Oh my God, so
yeah, you know, and the thing about it does not have to happen, you know, but this is the way that, you know, things are going.
Yeah. It's going to be devastating though to community too. I mean, we always talk about the economic impact, but this is our legacy too. How are we going to feel about this, right? So it's not just when we talk about love and loving other people, it's love and respect for yourself, right?
Yep. You know, one of the things is I like the Latino art.
Me too.
I think it's some of the most prestigious stuff, you know.
So expressive, so
It's
rich.
expressive,
Yeah.
you
So
know.
colorful. Look at my outfit. It's my.
Yeah, it's very, very nice. And if you're out someplace and you see paintings and things like that, you know, and you can get some really nice stuff out there. You know, buy it because it'll make you feel good, and the person who has done it will make them feel good too. You know, Latino art is capturing. Is that a good word?
Yeah.
Captures your mind, your heart, your spirit, and your soul.
I think your soul, yeah. I
Yeah.
think it's the vibrancy, the truth in it.
Yeah.
The pain, the sorrow, but also
The artistry of it is
Yeah.
just beautiful. So, you know what? Tell me where you guys are going again with some of your plans and what you want to do for the next year.
So we want to build an endowment in the next few years. We want to raise real money that we can invest, right? But like I said before, it's not just about raising money and giving that money to the people that are going to do right by it, right?
Mhm.
It's changing the way that we think about the Latino community. It's changing the narrative, right? So outside of launching the Latino Nonprofit Accelerator, investing in the grassroots, we want to really unite regular people. So I don't know if I talked about the giving circle model that we have, but about 3.5 years ago, we brought together 14 Latina women from all different sectors. One of them was in philanthropy, one of them was in PR, one of them worked for Univision, regular stay-at-home mom. They each gave $1,000, and we helped them pull those resources, right, and invest it back in the community. But in the process, like I said, this work is not about transactions. If you make it about a transaction, a check, and receiving money, then that's all that it is, and it doesn't change shit. But if you make it about people and about relationships and about trust and about cohesion, people want to be involved, and then you can make lasting change.
Eyez, what do you think of that?
There was so much going on. So I was mainly focusing on the lady in PR. Because I'm looking for a new PR.
No, but yeah, the power of those ladies, right? They realize that it's not just their money, but that they can make real change within their institutions and then for their community. And then guess what they did? They brought 5 of their friends, 4 of their friends, 10 of their friends, and they had a group of 40 women, powerful Latina women in the Bay Area.
Networking.
Right. And also raising money.
So what programs do you see, new programs that you see coming out of this?
So those women actually invested in local organizations, right? But then they said we want to do more. We realized that money is not enough. We want to serve on the boards of those organizations. We want to volunteer our time. We want to help them with their marketing, their communications. Why don't we put them on Univision and Telemundo? We have access to this, right? So that one giving circle has now grown into 11 giving circles across the state, right? We have 350 Latino donors as part of this. And it's very inclusive to anybody who cares about the Latino community can be part of that. We're actually bringing them all together in Google on March 5th, I think, for a huge retreat for all of them.
Where's that going to be at?
At the Google campus in Mountain View. So we're going to bring speakers, we're going to bring leaders, and we're going to help them all unite and think of a bigger, bolder vision, right? The vision for change has to be from the community, right? From the grassroots, but also these donors, right? They're a powerful base of people. They can go to their own companies and institutions, corporations, tech firms, and make a difference, right? So I'm super inspired by what we're doing, and people say, oh, you're democratizing philanthropy. No, we're just giving people an opportunity to make a difference. And you know how we do it? We also have fun, and we're real, and we're candid, and we drink wine, and we eat food, and we break bread together. And that creates community. And then those people, they don't leave our network. Why? Because their soul is fed. And they get to learn about issues and solutions together. And that's powerful. So that in itself, that Latino Giving Circle Network is one of our key pillar programs. And I bet that in the state of California, we're going to get to a place where we have more than 1,000 members, 5,000 members, and then we can serve as a model for the rest of the nation. That's our vision. We're creating something, a real community foundation that is run by the Latino community, invests in the Latino community, and advocates for change with the Latino community, right? We need to have more of what we do around our country. We only have about 10 Latino community foundations in the entire United States of America.
There's more than that, isn't it?
No.
You know, there should be a chapter in every major city.
Wow.
Do you know how much money goes to the Latino community? I want you guys to remember this statistic. 1.1% of all philanthropic dollars are invested in Latino nonprofits. That's not okay. I just told you the future of our country depends on those young people. If we're not investing in those young people, then we're all screwed. It's not a Latino issue.
It's a company issue, it's a country issue.
It's a California issue and a United States of America issue.
You know, this is one of the things that we was talking about the other day, is people helping people again, people picking people up and respect. You know, when you get on a bar, a good example is everybody seems like they're just in their own little tiny world. They don't speak, you know, they don't do anything, they don't interact, you know. And when I get on bar, I speak to people. And one morning I got on there and I said, well, what the hell's wrong with everybody here? Everybody here seems like they got their finger in their butt. And I said that. I said, why don't you speak to somebody? And then people start looking at you, and then people start speaking, and people start talking, and I felt good, and I got the heck off of there before anybody said anything bad to me. But you know what? We need to do that a lot more often. Just reach out and touch somebody. You know, what do you think about that, babe?
Oh, I remember one time I was on the BART. It really like cheered me up when these two kids, they started dancing. Well, for change. At the end they were like, well, any amount will help, please help. But still, that really brightened my day to see some dancing, because I wanted to get up there and start dancing with them, but I was like, man, you know, my hair's kind of messed up. I didn't take no video and post it on YouTube, you know. I like that. Man, Abby Lee Miller used to come out to the Bay Area, like the real part of the Bay Area, and witness some of that, ride the BART train. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're here today. This is the ending of Black History Month. You know, which is again, we're talking about cohesion among people of all races and creeds and colors, especially coming from the Latino community. We like to see a lot more developed. And again, if you want to give, if you want to dig in your pocket and forget about the 3 packs or 2 packs of cigarettes and all the little paraphernalia that you buy on a daily basis, give them your numbers again, dear.
Yeah, you can donate online, www.latinocf.org. Just Google Latino Community Foundation.
Wow.
I promise you we will make your dollars go a long way.
You know what, and that's good to say, because you know, one of the things is we're investing in kids. Again, we're talking about young kids, 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, and you know, that's where it all is. Am I right?
Yeah, not just the really young kids, but the kids at that really critical age, right, in middle school. We fund a lot of programs that are called La Cultura Cura, which really just translates into your culture cures, right? You need to understand who you are and where you come from and your history, right? To understand how you can move forward, and the values and the assets and the richness that you bring, right? So we fund a lot of those healing circles for our young men and women, especially in the Central Valley and the Central Coast.
Central Valley is hard.
It's hard, but it's my favorite place.
It is.
My favorite place. Hard-working, humble, kind people. They've been through a lot. So for them, you know, a lot of folks in the Bay Area are really worried with the new administration and what's happening, and there's a lot of fear. In the Central Valley, when you talk to the leaders there, they say, we've seen this before. We've been through this before. We're strong, we're resilient, we're going to get through it together, right? The way that it is a good attitude, and the way that we can come in is help these organizations, because they're constantly defending, right? They're constantly defending. We want them to be strong enough that they're building, that they're proactive, that they're ready for this and united, right? Mm-hmm. We don't want them to unite just in times of tragedy, but in times of opportunity, right?
I tell you what, we've had a good session here, and we're moving along. And you know, the thing about it is that we're talking about people, helping people, we're talking about people actually getting behind other people. The Latino schools right now, even the private ones, are struggling. What do you guys think about that? I want answers from both of you.
From me?
Yeah, from you too.
I think she should go first. This is what she specializes in.
Yeah, we don't necessarily work with schools directly. We work with the nonprofit organizations, right? So we're trying to build the infrastructure of those organizations so that they can have after-school programs, so that they can work with the parents, that they can develop the leadership of the young people, right? But In California, there's a lot of great policies. For example, a local control funding formula passed a few years ago that gives more money to the districts, specifically working with Latino young people and kids who are learning English. The problem, though, is the implementation of a lot of these policies. When the money finally gets to the school district, if not a single Latino representative or somebody who understands the issues and solutions for Latino kids can use that money wisely, then that money gets thrown into infrastructure projects or, something else that's not really helping those young kids excel or develop the English skills. And then on that money, this is where I am so frustrated, because I feel like a lot of that money that's coming in, school districts want to keep English language learners. Do you know anything about this issue? They want to keep them labeled as English language learners, and then they don't progress because the district is receiving funds for those young people. So we would like to think about public policy in the education arena. I think that's where the Latino Community Foundation can make a difference. But right now we're focused on bringing people together, educating them on the issues, investing in local institutions, and then all of us coming to Sacramento to talk to people in positions of power, our policymakers, to say, things aren't working, right? How do we invest in our young people? California doesn't invest in their schools enough at all. I think we used to be up there. Now we're some of the lowest state in terms of investments in our kids and our future, right? So we can't look just to philanthropy and to donors to change us. We have to look to our government to change us and to invest.
Well, our government's not going to do anything unless we push it.
Exactly.
I mean, they're not going to do a doggone thing. They're going to sit there and say, well, get off your tail and go out there and get it done and bring me some of the money, and I'll keep 25% of what you make.
Right.
That's about what it is.
And a lot of our Latino nonprofits, they haven't been to Sacramento.
Really?
Yes. We had a Latino policy summit 5 years ago.
Wow.
More than half of the people that showed up said, this is the first time I've ever been in the state's capital. We need to change that, right?
Wow.
But we're starving our nonprofits so much that they don't even have the money to be able to get a bus to bring their people to the state capital, right? So we need to invest in that. That's what we invest in.
You know what? The simple, small things about life is what we need to do.
Right.
And that's what it's elusive. Why can't we? We're always thinking about the big, huge things. You know what I mean, Eyez?
Yeah.
All the time thinking about the big things, and the little things fall through the cracks. What do you think about that?
I think that when you complain to directly to the government, I think that can push things along sometimes. Sometimes the squeaky wheel gets the grease. So, I mean, if you complain, I know some complainers. They complain about every little thing, and you best believe those little things are fixed. So if you can just in the back of your mind, just remember that person who complained about every single thing. Just tune into that, and then do that to your government. So if you want to see change, then keep complaining to the government. They can do that. Find the resources, get a lawyer to help complain, and use those fancy buzzwords that they use.
But those people work for us. We put them there, right? It is their job to listen to our complaints, like you said.
Yeah.
You know what? We're talking some good stuff. Well, we're back, and I was singing in my mind, but everybody's looking at me like, like dolls, The guy's singing again. Anyway, we're going to talk about development sources to generate revenue. I'm going to throw that one at you. Okay. Give me some input on that.
In terms of like the state budget, or?
No, I'm talking about.
Because we need to do that too.
Just generally generating funds.
For us.
But yeah, you guys, what do you do?
So we function a lot like a nonprofit, right? So we go and ask local community members, local donors, we get them involved. Then we go to corporations and companies, local businesses, and then we go to major foundations and institutions. So one of our greatest funding partners, like a real relationship, comes from the California Wellness Foundation. They actually just gave us another grant to be able to respond to the needs of the community immediately, but also for the future, for the long haul. So it's really hard work. It's writing grants, and I think for us, the reason why we're such a good grant maker, the reason why we've become such a good partner to community is because we know what that feels like, right? It can be very sad and degrading the way people treat you when you ask them for money, right? But we don't give up. We keep asking. We keep pushing. And we ask people to partner alongside us, right? Because we know what the solutions for our issues are. Because we work in partnership with those local leaders, right? Outside of that, we need to ask bigger and think bigger. Because what we said before, this is not about scraps. This is not about handouts for us. We need major investments.
Actually walk around not knowing to have risk factors and possible complications for
So,
Playing with the
Wanna sing a
YouTube
song?
again,
so
guys.
there's some music that was being played earlier. I don't know. It was really nice. We were all dancing to it.
That is Kevin Garrett, Strange Hold.
That was it. Can you say the name again?
Kevin Garrett, Strange Hold. He was actually in town last week for Valentine's Day.
Wow. I'd have liked to have been there.
Strange Hold.
Yeah.
Can you sing us a song?
I don't think right now.
I heard you're a
You
singer.
guys want me to sing?
He's always willing to sing.
Oh.
I'll play one of Eyez songs for you.
Yeah,
How about
please, I would
So
love
our
that.
next break, I'll play Go
Thank
For
you.
It.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, how much money do you think you guys project to raise this month? This year?
Well, our budget is around $1.5–2 million. So it's fairly small because we are a foundation that serves the entire state of California, and we're the largest community foundation serving Latinos. So that is not enough, right? We need some major partners that are going to come to the table.
So you need maybe 4 or 5 million.
We need 10 to 50
10?
million, yeah, to do the work that needs
Wow.
to be done, at least. So $100,000 is a great investment in us, but we need people to show up to the table that say, for the next, not just year, not as a response to the crisis that's happening, but for the next decade and the next 20, 30, 40 years, again, thinking about the future of the state. It is the Latino community, and we need a major institution to put real resources down.
You know, I'm gonna say something to you. You are the second young person to project something like that. Most people come in here, they don't have an idea how to project that thought. They come in here, they say, well, we maybe need this, but you actually know the numbers, and you have a projection in your mind of what you need and how far it's going. $10 million, $15 million.
Yes.
That's good.
But we need more than that. That's not
Oh my
enough.
God.
We need $100 million. This is the state of California. This is one of the biggest economies in the world, right?
This is a world economy right here. This state is a world economy. We're on that list.
And the kind of donations we're getting, that's not enough. That's not enough to transform our young people into the leaders in 21st century, that we need to give them access to those jobs in the tech sector, in the green economy, in healthcare, and we're not preparing them. We're giving them the same old shitty tools. We're putting them in schools that don't serve them, right? We're putting them in schools that tell them, you lack this and you lack that, and you are deficient in Y, X, and Z. That's not okay. That's not smart. It's stupid.
Well, you know what? I noticed that when they taught kids when I was young, they had this great teachers had this thing about them. They really care. A lot of teachers today don't care. It's a job. Am I right?
I don't know. I love teachers.
There's some who don't care.
I'm sure there's some that don't care, but we need to help them care, right?
Yeah.
I live with a teacher at home. I share a house with 4 people. One of them is an art teacher in Marin. She's working day and night trying to figure out how to teach kids art and music and their culture, and she is making a difference. So I don't want to come here and shit on teachers. I don't think they're the problem.
I didn't say they were the problem now, but there are some teachers who need to be kicked in the butt. I'm gonna say that.
There's lots of people that need to be kicked in the butt.
Yeah, but if we get everybody on the same page, then we can rock and roll.
We also need to respect teachers and pay them
Sure.
more and let them run with the ideas that
very
they
true.
have.
I think, what did they say the other day, that teachers
Our glorified custodians, yeah, I heard that
I
too.
heard that the other day. I couldn't
Yeah.
believe that.
That is true.
Wow.
Because they have them do all this stuff that isn't their job. They're always making teachers, like my PE teacher, like, he was cleaning out the locker rooms. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's like, that's not even his job. And then they like to do all this, sending people back and forth to class, like, about, oh, you got to get the ag code and all that. And he's like, there is no ag code. Class just started. Like, you know, but he's, like, signed it anyway. Some teachers are really patient and, you know, but the truth is they want to pay them a little bit of money for doing a little bit of teaching and a whole bunch of custodial work and secretarial work and you know, all this nonsense. It's not even their job. You know, they have custodians there to do that kind of stuff.
Well, you know, I was listening the other day, and the lady that lives over in my old neighborhood, she spends about $2,000 a year buying materials to take the class.
Sure.
That's unheard of.
Yeah, a lot of teachers do that. My aunt's a teacher. She spends, like, she's buying music, she's buying posters, she's buying this, pencils, paper. She's even bought headphones, and you know, and then when she she was forced to retire because if anybody knows, music is always the first to go out of schools. So like they cut the music program, all that equipment, you know, and she bought a lot of it. So
Wow.
yeah, everything from video cameras, keyboards, headphones, DVDs, VHS players, DVD players, all that stuff.
You know, a lot of that stuff is all around, and I don't see why we can't get people to start donating that stuff. It's everywhere. It's in people's garages. It's everywhere. The
But
guy
then it's also our tax dollars. Like, where is that going? You know, like we contribute so much, and we're not seeing enough of the money in the budgets of our states and our cities go to education, so that our teachers have to pick up the slack. That's not okay. And our teachers should be teaching kids how to think for themselves and to understand their history and where they come from too, right? Not just teach to a test. That's not working for us either.
Well, you know, one of the things is that we have to realize is that a budget is elusive. It's an elusive element. You can put something in the box for something else and it'll end up with something else. You know, this is what we have to do in all these foundations and all these people, is get on the tails of our congressmen and senators, because this is where it is. Now look at your foundation. Your foundation is doing something really wonderful for people. Do you think anybody has come up to say, well, thank you, let's give them $100,000, or give them $2 million, or $3 million, or something like that? But they will spend $3-4 million on developing the owl and how he gets it on and how he lays his eggs and stuff like this, which I don't understand. You know, we don't put into things that we should put into.
Young people.
Foundations are one of the things that we need to put into that we don't. We don't accept it in our society as giving to foundations, because most poor people are people who are working every day. If you notice, their priorities are in different places. They would rather go out and buy some expensive knockoffs than go buy a class. So the mentality, what you were saying, I think it was, is the way things have changed. Oh, it was you. Things are changing dramatically in our society right now. We need to get back to basics, in other words. Don't you, both of you think that?
Yeah,
For sure.
back to basics.
Back to basics. You know.
I do have good news. So last week we had a really hard week. There were some foundations that we were hoping to receive funds from. We had been talking to them, and they said no, that they can't for a variety of reasons. And then at the end of the week, just a pouring of good news. One of our donors got a job in philanthropy. He was so excited. This foundation, California Wellness Foundation, gave us another grant. And then I don't know if you know this gentleman by the name of Lin-Manuel Miranda, creator of Hamilton. We are honoring his father at our annual gala in March. His father is Luis Miranda. He's a legend in the Latino community. He's an activist. He started the Hispanic Federation in New York City about 30 years ago. He's been a very staunch advocate for investing in Latino-led organizations, very similar to what we do. So we're honoring Lin-Manuel's father. And in some of these conversations, he brought up, the work that his son is doing to raise funds for local nonprofits. And on Friday, he tweeted about the Latino Community Foundation, and my coworker Amber just started screaming in the office like, "Holy shit! Lin-Manuel Miranda just tweeted us!" So he is raising funds for us and Code 2040, an organization that helps young people have access to coding and to the tech skills that they need to be part of the 21st century economy.
Coding is becoming a big thing, isn't it?
It is, yeah, but that's a part of it, right? It's not the only jobs that exist in the tech sector. There's a lot of other ones. But the last time he did this, Lin-Manuel raised $2.5 million for Planned Parenthood.
Wow.
So the package is even better this time. The package is tickets to opening night of in San Francisco of Hamilton, sitting next to his parents, Luis and Luz, his parents. Then a flight here if you don't live here, and a hotel here, but then also access to the after party with the entire cast of Hamilton. So anybody can go to our Facebook page.
What is Hamilton?
Hamilton is the Broadway. You haven't heard anything about Hamilton?
I have.
Charles, do you live where do you live? Under a rock?
Kind of.
Kind.
Leave him alone. Leave him alone.
Tell me about Hamilton.
Yeah, you're a musician. You should.
Well, that doesn't mean I know everything about
No, yeah.
Hamilton, but no, Hamilton is basically a musical, kind of like paying homage to what I don't think it's
Hamilton.
Yeah, so about the fathers of the country and everything. I remember George Bush was talking about it. A lot of people don't like George Bush. I kind of like George Bush. I remember he was talking about that. Don't roll your eyes. I saw that. He was like, history is like that sometimes. And he was saying sometimes things, people might know about something and then not say anything about it for like 100 years, and then it comes back, So a lot of the presidents, I think, were talking about it. I think Obama said something about Hamilton as well. I remember they had their castings. I don't want to talk too much about that.
Ex-President Obama was pretty well up on the social stuff. He knew how to get around. He knew how to do things. And more than anything, he knew how to charm people.
Oh, that's it. He also performed for Barack Obama.
Yeah, Lin-Manuel performed
as well.
Yeah.
I think he was
And
talking.
he's gonna.
So he's actually, I think, stepping down from being part of the musical, because this musical is like one of the most famous musicals in the history of America, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost impossible to get tickets to the show. But also the cast is made up of African American, Latinos, and immigrants to tell the story of America's founding, the story of Alexander Hamilton, but also told through rap and told through hip hop and told through rhymes, and it's very dynamic. And
I think they beatbox too.
Yeah.
They do what?
Beatbox. I think because I know that I've
What's
seen
that?
him beat.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
You should check it
Wow,
out. We
he's
should
not
watch
up
it.
on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, leave him
Oh,
alone.
boy. We enjoy that because it kind of knocks the stuff around a little bit, and to have you on there and to have you sing and to let people know that we're very proud of you,
Ah,
and the fact that we have a real artist, not somebody like me who can chop it up and heat it up and then throw it around the wall, You really want to hear me sing. But anyway, I was listening to some of your stuff the other day, and I said, wow, this is somebody that I know,
oh, that's sweet.
And it brings a nice flavor to things to have somebody that's alive and well that and you bring, you accentuate. That's a good word, isn't it? That's the proper word.
Accentuate.
Yeah, things around here. You really brighten things up when you come
Oh, that's
in.
sweet.
You like that, You take, it gives me time to catch a wink.
Charles.
Eyes take over, baby.
Okay.
Let me close that left eye for a minute. I spent a lot of time looking at events, and one of the things, not getting political like we were talking about, one of the things, the flavor of how we live today is, it's okay, but we need to, jump in there. Everybody needs to look at things in the next into going into November. You know, critical, very critical. You know, November's going to be a critical month, and that's a lot of voting and a lot of stuff in the political is going to happen. We want you to get out there and be heard and be seen. You know, and a lot of people, they don't want to participate. And the first thing they say when things go bad was, you know what, I didn't really understand what was being said. But you got to get out there. Am I right, ladies?
Yes, get out there.
You got to get out there. You're
Get
compelled,
involved.
am I right?
Yeah. I mean, voting is important, but to get to a place where you understand the issues, you know, and understand community, somebody needs to awaken you. Somebody needs to help politicize you so that you can understand the impacts of your choices, right? And I think with the latest administration, people are starting to awaken to say, oh, okay, something is happening.
Yeah.
My vote does matter. I mean, in the Latino community in California, yes, we had record turnout, but it still wasn't enough. It was still 46% of all eligible Latinos voted in California.
Yeah.
75% of Californians voted. That's not enough. That's not okay.
Right. We need to amp it up. One of the things is we get back to this thing of caring and loving and respecting each other. We always get back to that, and the fact that this is the medium for who we are and what we are. One of the things I want to say is I'm very happy to see McClymonds High School over in Oakland. When the mandate or the word came down about the charter school thing, they really jumped up and hooped and hollered and said, hell no. And I was so glad to see regular parents out there getting off from work and going there, you know, tired and beat from working an 8-hour job, then sitting up there till 8, 9 o'clock at night. Mm-hmm. The parents over at McClymonds, I just really applaud them because, you know what, this is what we're all about. Am I right, ladies? This is what we're all about, making a difference.
Yeah, shout out to McClymonds. I went there for summer school once. The principal was really nice to me. The teachers weren't. The principal was. Students weren't either. Well, one student. That's a whole nother show.
You know, but you know what? It's what you're talking about is getting involved. You know, being a part of things and making things happen. Am I right, ladies?
That's right. Yeah.
You know, and I want you to give me your closing argument and specifications about where you're going, what you're going to do, and how you're going to do it, and how much you're going to do it.
Well, I'll start with where your last question is. What do we need to do, right? I think electing people is important, people who represent our interests, but that's not enough, right? We can't put the responsibility of people in positions of power just to make those changes. We have to be part of creating those changes. And you know what? It's hard. When you are struggling, when you are poor, when you don't have enough to feed your family, right? And somebody says you need to be civically involved, it's like, what? Do you know what I have to deal with every day? You know, so it's being able to have that vision, right? But you also need to believe that things can change. So in the community, we need small wins. But that means we need to come together locally, like at the school, you know, where parents can get involved. That momentum builds into momentum where you see that change is possible, right? Mm-hmm. But we all need to participate in it. All of us, right? No matter what position you have. So I ask people, regular people, common people, who do care, who have a lot of love for themselves and their family and their community, to get involved in whatever way works for you. We're not here preaching to say do X or do Y. No, do what feels right for you. If it's, you know, starting with watching a documentary like, you know, 13th Amendment on Netflix, I watched that last night, or reading the autobiography of Malcolm X, or understanding your country's history. If you want to start there, start there. If you want to come to a parent meeting, go to that parent meeting. If you want to volunteer at the library, do that, right? But whatever gets you going, get involved. Reach out to somebody that you know that is making a difference.
Reach out and touch somebody.
Yes, but also do it from a place not of pity or of guilt, but do it from a place of love, because that's the kind of transformation we need. I know that it might seem so radical at times when we talk about this, but we all need to feel that love for one another and for ourselves. That is the kind of revolution I think that we need right now.
Well, we're going to wrap it up here in a minute. And I just want to say to everybody, to start off with, thoughts of a common man
right here at Radio Valencia. We're here to give you words of wisdom, opinions, liked or not. We're here to bring you stuff from the community that we need as common people to get out there and talk to each other about and to discuss and network about. Now, I like the fact that we've had a very intuitive young lady here today, and she's very knowledgeable, and she's going to give her numbers again, and we want you to get off your tail and give her some money. Period. Get out there and do it, because you can do it. You're a humanitarian and you've got compassion and dignity. Get out there and give some money. Give a few dollars, you can do that. You want to give them the numbers again?
Sure, and not just your time, but also your talent, right? Because I think we need that as well. So to make a donation or to partner with us in any way, go to www.latinocf.org, the Latino Community Foundation. You can also find us on Facebook, where you can buy a raffle ticket to enter into winning front row seats for Hamilton here in San Francisco in the opening night. That's right.
I know about Hamilton.
That's right.
Yeah, just learned.
But if you want to make a difference in the Latino community, if you want to help us unleash the power and potential of the Latino community and our young people, call us, email us, find a way to get involved. We're very responsive. My name is on the website and my email too, so reach out in any way. But we need you. We need each other. So we are a kind of organization that gets it done. That's our motto. Let's do it. So join us.
Eyez, you want to tell people what you're going to be doing in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or whenever?
Next 3 weeks?
Yeah. What do you got planned?
Well, 3 weeks is a long time. But I'm actually in the most recent issue of, I'm blanking out. I'm in the TRL magazine. I'm in the latest issue of TRL magazine. They did a really nice 2-page write-up.
Nice.
I'm going to be doing some shows with GRM Presents soon.
Who?
GRM Presents.
Oh.
And they are going to be doing live action music. So all the hip hop fans out there, I'm going to be hosting that. And he's going to be doing some other shows. I also have some releases coming up, but that's something that I guess... Alright, so I let y'all know about that. But
I'm going to get them first, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be... I will say one is a compilation and the other one I'll tell you about when it's closer to time.
Man. So the secret's out.
Yeah, I just let out 2 secrets actually today.
Yeah.
And one of them wasn't mine.
And hi, this is Gina, the producer, and as always, I want to remind you to go to www.thoughtsofacommonman.net to find out all you want to know about the show and what the chief is doing, what I'm doing, what Eyez is doing, and upcoming guests and events.
Well, the summer's coming, and I want you to talk to me and communicate with me if you want me to come out and speak. And if I got the time, I will do that. I will, you got to give me a notice. And to everybody out there, including Miss Braxton, I love you, honey. I love you with all my heart. The chief loves you in your broken car window. Okay? And I want to tell you that we like to, be in the community this summer, and we want to get out and actually meet everybody. And I don't care who you are, where you are, just, text, the whip cracker here, I call her, my manager. And then, get on schedule, and then we'll put it on calendar, and we'll evaluate everything and get it out going. And we want to thank Devon for bringing you over here today.
Well, my auntie brought me over here.
Oh.
Shout out to my auntie.
Shout out to the auntie there.
Yeah.
Auntie Laverne.
And
Can I make a shout out to my mom too?
Sure.
Oh my God, to my mom and my dad, Svetlana, Mamchik at Ocean Blue, and my dad, Vladimir. So Vladimir and Svetlana, the people who I aspire to be like.
Wow, that's a powerful statement there, girlfriend. Anyway, and we want to let you know that again, that we want to get out here and do things, and that, live and love
Yes.
and be happy.
Yes.
Am I right about that?
That's right.
Yes.
And we want to take it from there. Miss Jenna, you got anything else to say?
Always, if you miss a show, we have podcasts. You can go on the website again, www.thoughtsofcommand.net. Also, the Radio Valencia site, www.radiovalencia.fm. And we're on YouTube. The YouTube doesn't always include the music, but the podcast does. But there are plenty of ways to, stay current with us and keep up with us and not miss a show. And on that note, I think we need to be out of here.
We're out of here. Love you guys. Hang in there.
Thank you.
Wow.